Sergeant, I want Dan Adams out of New Orleans before the sun goes down. Now drive him over to the Hotel Roosevelt. See that he packs his bag. See that he gets on that afternoon plane. And if he doesn't, lock him up.
I was going to take you and the missus out to dinner. Let's eat up that $10 I won. Of course, the way you play golf, you're better off with me out of town.
I have to take a rain check on the dinner. But if you decide to stay over, give me a chance to get even.
Well, let's call. Appreciate the right, Sergeant.
That you, dear? Wonderful chapter for my book. I'm quite sure I discovered the burial place of Dr. Entomaki right here in New Orleans.
John, I have just come from the bank.
He was Napoleon's personal physician, you know. Made the original of this death mask, as a matter of fact, shortly after the Emperor died.
What has happened to our money?
You never went to the bank before. Hardly ever, anyway.
I didn't want to bother you. Our checking account was low. I went to transfer some money from our savings account.
I thought maybe you wouldn't find out. A miracle.
All of our savings. It isn't possible.
I needed the money. I drew it out.
$12,000?
It was an investment. I thought it would be a surprise when I doubled it, tripled it. Then I could concentrate on my book and not have to teach on the side.
Then it isn't really gone.
It's gone. You see, I'm also a thief.
John, that isn't stealing. It was your money. It's just that I think you might have told me.
When I said I was a thief, I was referring to the investment.
I don't believe that. I know you too well.
I gave the money, our money, all of it, to a guard at the Cabildo Museum.
A guard? Why?
Well, you see, I had a buyer in France for some of Napoleon's letters, to his doctor and to his second wife.
The letters in the museum?
The buyer thought the letters were in my possession, so I gave the guard $12,000 to let me substitute some forgeries for the originals.
John, I can't believe what I'm hearing.
Then I met the buyer's representative yesterday. He was to hand over $30,000, and I was to deliver the letters.
He backs out. You don't have to tell me. I can see it on your face. John, you have to replace those letters.
He took the letters. Don't you understand? He took the letters and refused to give me the money for them. He laughed at me. He knew there was nothing I could do.
You could have done then what you have to do now. Go to the police.
I can't go to the police. I'll go to jail. I can't even go back to him. He threw me out. He said he'd kill me if I talked. He's a gangster.
John, you are only a thief. You are not a coward. You have to go to the police.
I can't do it. My place at the school. My standing. My book. You.
Last you finally got around to me.
I was thinking of you all the time, Margaret.
John, if you can get those letters back, the guard you bribed at the museum can replace them.
The guard won't give the money back.
We can do without the money, if we have to. But our whole lives are tied up in those letters. Now, who is the man who took them from you?
I don't know. Just a man.
You'll tell me, John, or you'll face this without me.
Adams. Dan Adams. He was staying at the Roosevelt. But he left town. I know he left town. He's a dangerous man, Margaret.
Oh, John. John, why?
Have his bag packed in a minute.
Mr. Adams.
A stick-up?
I'm Margaret Hammock, Professor Hammock's wife.
Well, it's nice to know you, Mrs. Hammock.
Please don't make any moves that might startle me. I wouldn't know what else to do but shoot.
With that gun?
Mr. Adams, I want the letters back. And some of the money. Not all you promised him, but just what it cost him to get them. Our life savings.
Well, I'm sure it's been said before in this situation. I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't intend to talk a lot. I'd be very easy to outwit, I'm sure. So if you don't give me the letters and the money, right now, I'm going to shoot and find them myself. You're a gangster and a thief, and I don't mind killing you at all.
I can read that in your face.
Mr. Adams, I'm through talking.
That gun doesn't appear to be loaded.
There's one bullet in it, so that I could say it was an accident. I didn't know it was loaded. I was only trying to scare you.
Well, you've got the wrong man, but you can have any letters I've got. I think you'd better look at my identification.
You're no good. You deserved it. You're just so good.
You should have brought another bullet. Learn how to shoot. Some antiseptic in my shaving kit in the bathroom. Get it.
Detective. Aren't you going to call the police?
I always call the police when I get mixed up with someone who thinks he's Napoleon.
Mr. Adams, my husband isn't a maniac. He's a teacher, an authority on Napoleon.
And he told you I stole some of Napoleon's letters from him.
He must have been mistaken. I don't understand it. He had your name, this hotel. He described you.
Did he know you intended to kill me if you had to?
Oh, no.
You knew you took the gun.
Unloaded. He didn't know I loaded it.
I wonder.
Mr. Adams, my husband is a quiet, gentle person.
He's a thief. He admitted it to you.
All right. Call the police.
Go on home.
Thank you. I don't know what I'm going to tell him.
Tell him you shot me, and tell him why. And tell him he can expect a visit from me.
When?
Tomorrow, after I've checked the museum. I want to know how big a thief I'm dealing with. And then I want to know why he pulled my name out of a hat. Next person he sends gunning for me may be a better shot. Somehow I felt closer to Napoleon than I did to Dr. Hammock here in Jackson Square. There were the Pentalba buildings, fairly new when Jenny Lind and William Makepeace Thackeray walked those balconies. The St. Louis Cathedral, new when Napoleon's tricolor came down from that flagpole over there, and America's 15-star flag went up. And the Cabildo, built when Spain still owned the whole shooting match. And I had bad news for it, thanks to another little man who also had his dangerous moments. I'd been wrong about having news for the curator. He had news for me. None of the Napoleonic papers was missing. Forgeries, I suggested, and he looked again for his secret markings. The markings were there. These were the originals.
I was just trying to reach you on the phone.
I told you I'd be here.
He's gone.
To do his own hunting? It's closed season on Dan Adams.
No. Please find him. Help him.
Why do you think he needs help?
I think he intends to do away with himself. When I came home, he was going through his life insurance papers. He told me I wouldn't have to worry about our money being gone. He tore out of here like a madman. I couldn't stop him.
Did he tell you the truth this time about where the money went?
The truth.
I came here from the Cabildo. No papers were stolen. The originals are still there. So you had another reason for gunning for me.
Oh, no. Oh, no. That means he's in more serious trouble even than he said. We'll have to find him now before he does something awful.
Well, he has the advantage on me. I wouldn't know him if I saw him.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
What did he say when you told him you shot me?
He was petrified. He blamed himself. He took the gun away from me.
I mean, what did he say about me? Why me?
He said I'd made a mistake. I shot the wrong man.
He gave you my name, my face, and my hotel.
I know, but if we don't find him, I'll never know why.
What makes you think he's going to do away with himself?
He said so. The bullets were kept in that box with the papers. They're gone. Mr. Adams, no matter what he's done, please help me. I love him so.
Shouldn't you go to the police?
Well, I thought I didn't want to go to the police except as a last resort. I think if he thought they were looking for him, nothing would stop him.
He'll think about it. We have time.
How do you know?
Well, he'd have done it here. Well, where would he be likely to go to think?
Well, I called the school. He isn't there. Sometimes he goes to the waterfront, down near the French markets. He shops there. They all know him. Sometimes he goes to the St. Louis cemetery when he wants to be alone and think about his work. Do you know where that is?
Yeah.
Should I go with you?
No, you stay here by the phone. He may call. I didn't know why I'd picked up the pawn ticket. It wouldn't help locate a man wandering through shadows, bent on self-destruction. But it occurred to me now it might tell me something more about the man I was hunting, even about the kind of trouble he was in.
The handguns are back here in the case.
I'd better see what I draw on this first.
Don't you know what it is?
You tell me.
You want to redeem it?
Maybe.
If you pawned it or bought this, you'd know what it is.
That's right.
Antique gun collection, $200.
No use for it. Tell me about the man that pawned it. Has he pawned other things or said why?
I got guns, musical instruments, jewelry, and I got ethics.
I'll take a sawbuck's worth of the latter.
You just bought my whole stock of ethics. You ain't a cop or you'd have buzzed me for these records.
Professor Hammock's in some kind of trouble.
That's hard to believe.
Has he been pawning a lot of stuff?
Oh, a set of old books one time, antique gold watch another time. Teachers don't get much pay. He's writing a book, he told me.
Well, has he been pawning things for a long time?
No, past couple of weeks. Never saw him before a couple of weeks ago. He and his wife were walking by, spotted a ring in the window. Most expensive ring in the joint. She wanted it. She'll get it. That doll. Cute.
Doll? The professor's wife?
I bet you never done any better, honey.
That his address?
Don't you know?
I figured he'd live close to the school.
His wife looks young enough to be a co-ed, I'll say that. Wouldn't be her you'd be interested in.
No, just the professor.
You know, if you found that ticket, you're supposed to make an effort to return it to the owner. Might be you who's in trouble.
Might be.
Now, don't worry about things. We'll talk about it inside.
found myself wishing I'd taken that early plane away from New Orleans. Now I thought I knew where the professor's life savings had gone, but I still didn't know how out of thin air a man had pulled the name and face of Dan Adams, or why.
At least she had the courage to use it. I'm a coward.
But how could you consider using it?
It would have solved so many things. She'd have the insurance.
But what about me? What would I have without you? You said you cared about me.
Love and obligations are different things, Carol. You don't know. I don't understand it myself. What it means to me to know that you love me.
Then no more talk about leaving me. Like this.
No more. I'm going to talk to her about a divorce. Things will work out for us. They must.
I think you're still in love with your wife.
This affection, naturally, of long association. Nothing like your love has ever happened to me. Nothing is going to destroy it.
It'll still be there, honey. Even if things don't work out.
They will. They must. The book will solve everything. I must keep my mind on it, work on it.
But you don't know if it'll sell.
It's already sold. I'll get my advance as soon as it's done.
Well, in the meantime, it won't hurt me to go back to work. I'll have to get a partner for club dates.
I can't stand the thoughts of you dancing. Another man's hands on you.
Well, I've never worked in the line. I need a partner. I'll never know his hands are on me. If you were as wild as you say when you left the house, you'd better let your wife know that you're still alive so she won't start the police looking for you.
I'm going to tell her I want a divorce.
Finish the book first. Yes?
Sorry to bother you. I talked to the manager about a vacancy. The place is full up.
So?
Well, she said she thought this apartment might be vacant soon.
I don't think so.
She thought she might be getting married.
I doubt it.
I'm sorry.
But, in case there should be a vacancy, why don't you come in and look around? See if you, like it.
Very kind of you. Nice place.
I'm glad you like it.
The manager, she wrong about you getting married?
Every girl should get married. The kitchen's a kitchen, bedroom's a bedroom, and the bath is a bath. You want to see them?
No, it's very nice. The neighborhood's very nice, too. I like it.
Then you ought to keep checking.
I will. Are you a writer?
Me? I'm a dancer. Modern ballet. If the ceiling was higher, I'd show you my grand jeté.
I'd be all eyes.
You are all eyes. And the grand jeté is a ballet leap, silly.
Yeah, the manuscript. I thought you might be a writer.
A friend of mine is writing a book on Napoleon. He brings it here chapter by chapter for me to read. I don't read it.
Maybe I should take a look at the kitchen while I'm here. The name on that manuscript sounds familiar. Dr. John Hammock?
Please, let's forget about the professor. All I know about Napoleon is what he said to Josephine one night.
Hey, your boyfriend must have thought you were interested in history. He wouldn't have brought the book.
Him, he is history. All I'm interested in is the present and the future.
Well, in that case, how about dinner?
After dinner, if you haven't found anything you like better, I can show you the rest of the apartment.
I think I was going to use this on myself. And all the time, you're the one I should have killed.
No, don't. What we were saying, I was just joking.
I have no sense of humor.
Your family's already had it shot at me. I'm going to kill you right where you're standing if you don't put that gun down.
Throw him out. I'm sick of the old fool. Sick to death of him.
Just came back from my manuscript. Funny, I don't know if I'm glad I came back or not.
Well, I'm glad. Get out.
Just the money?
Take a look at the mirror. What else would it be but money? Look what he did. He's a madman.
I think he's just recovered his sanity.
You knew I was out there on the balcony, in the room, listening, didn't you?
Did I?
You're gonna pay for that mirror.
He already has. Come on, Professor. I promised your wife I'd bring you home.
You promised his wife? You know his wife? You're a detective. I should have known. Both of you get out of here. Get out! Get out!
Sorry you got mixed up in my problems, Mr. Adams.
I've hunted you from one end of New Orleans to the other, Professor, to find out how I got involved and why.
First, you were just another lie added to the big lie.
Why me? Why my name? Why my face? You've never seen me before.
I had some business in the Hall of Records. I was going in as you came out with two officers. I overheard them order you out of town. A criminal who wouldn't be available for my wife's questions was just what I needed for the other lie, about the letters.
Well, so I won't feel that my time's been completely wasted, Professor Hammock. Will you tell your wife the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes. I was very fond of her. For the girl I thought she was.
Well, your wife's very fond of you.
Yes. Thanks.